Hello, a very warm welcome to the Hilton Park Lane. Can you believe it, Johnny Nelson? We are finally here. It feels like it's the fight that we have been talking about, well, for literally years. The most overdue fight, I think, in British boxing. Khan versus Brook. It's happening, Johnny, on February the 19th. How excited are you?
I want to break into song and dance.
Do it.
I've always said, this is never going to happen. It's just not going to happen. And now I'm happy I'm wrong. I'm happy I'm eating my words. We're in the Hilton Hotel, Park Lane. I remember when Mike Tyson came and he was in the Dorchester next door. It's just got that big fight feeling. Regardless of when this fight's taking place, the fight's taking place. That's the important thing. And so now when they're both sat up there, there's no backing out. And so this is why it gets exciting, because we've never had them so close, apart from when they were on ringside and they were kids then.
Because every time that it seems to have been getting over the line, this fight, that something over a small matter has cropped up and it hasn't happened, but it is finally going ahead.
Well, the nicest feeling is this. Amir Khan's brought about 20 strong team. They're really quiet at the moment, but I'm sure it'll change once he gets on stage. Kell's come down with a handful of people. Now, the seriousness of this is Amir Khan has the experience. He has the media experience. He's a bit of a celebrity compared to the two of them.
Yeah.
So he's going to be smart. He's going to be sharp. He's going to try and make Kell look silly verbally up there. He just needs to drop one little thing, one little poke to try and undermine and make him look ridiculous, and then you'll see how true, how real this fight is. This isn't just about inside the ring. This is outside the ring. These guys don't like each other. No,
and that has been going on for a long time now. It's a proper grudge match. Do you think that will spill over today? Do you think we will see a bit of needle up there?
Well, I'm quite sure Dominic's going to be whispering in Kell's ear, be cool, be cool, be cool. Amir, he's professional, it's business. And so if he gets upset, then therefore he's going to say something to try and upset Kell. Then Kell's either got to be smart enough or sharp enough to try and ignore it or bite. He's going to bite at some point or another. If he doesn't bite today, it will bite as he gets closer to the fight. Fight week's going to be ridiculous, but it will spill over, because there's very few fights where I think both fighters really dislike each other. Nigel Benn, Chris Eubank.
Yeah.
Amir Khan Kell Brook. And that's not the stuff you see in front of the camera on social. They dislike each other. This is business. So so they'll do this. This is business. But these guys, this is personal.
It's been made at a catch weight. It's a couple of pounds over welter. Who do you think that will favour more, do you think?
Now, I think it favours them both. Originally,
because that was always an issue, wasn't it?
Yeah, originally it favoured Khan more than it favoured Brook. Now it favours them both, because I know what Brook walks around at. I'm quite sure Khan walks around heavy as well. He favours them both. So now you've got a guy that I think is the fastest, busiest puncher of combinations in Amir Khan, and against a guy that can punch us like a stun gun in Kell Brook. So they've both got their strengths, but they've both got their weaknesses. So we've just got to see how this is going to roll out.
Because it is a fight that's been brewing for a long time. Both of them, though, are at the exact same stages in their career, which makes it even more exciting. 34, 35 respectively. How do you think they'll have to adapt their training, perhaps?
So the mistake a lot of fighters make is when they're 35, they try and train like they were 25. And when you do, that's when you get injured. That's where things aren't coming off your speed, your timing are off. So you've got to adapt to your strengths and try and avoid your weaknesses. So now they're at this stage now, I think both will. It's serious. There's no mistakes to be made here. So I think they'll do everything possible and make sure that they train right, prep right for each other.
It's, I guess, a case of not necessarily who's going to win, but who can live with losing the most with these two, because that's going to burn.
That's a great question, and it's spot on. That's what it's all about. Bragging rights. Sheffield, Bolton Stroke, Manchester. It's bragging rights, and that's lasted a long time. You know, that was around when I was around, so it's bragging rights.
It certainly is. Right, let's hand you over to Buddy Johnson for the introductions of the fighters.
Welcome to the London Hilton in Park Lane, where a boxer in partnership with Sky Sports Boxing is about to introduce one of the most highly anticipated matchups in British boxing history. On February 19th in Manchester, two of the most iconic figures in British boxing will go head-to-head in your main event. We introduce first, from Sheffield, standing 5 feet 9 inches tall, a career 39 victories, with 27 of those by knockouts, against 3 defeats. Since his debut in 2004, his accolades include the IBF, WBA, and WBC Intercontinental Welterweight Championship, the IBF, International, and World Welterweight Championships, the WBC Silver Light Middleweight, and the WBO Intercontinental Light Middleweight Championships. A former British champion, he is known as the Special One. Introducing Kell Brook. And we introduce his opponent, from Bolton, standing 5 feet 8 1/2 inches tall, a career 35 victories, 21 of those by knockouts, against 5 losses. Since his professional debut in 2005, his accolades include the Commonwealth, WBO Intercontinental, and WBA International Lightweight Championship, the IBF, WBC Silver, and WBA Light Welterweight, and WBA Super Light Welterweight World Championships, the WBC Silver International World and WBA International Championships, an Olympic silver medalist. Introducing Amir Khan.
Johnny Nelson, stop filming and start talking to me. We're on a stream.
You know what? I'm like a fan. I'm just as excited.
You just raised your eyebrows there because...
I did, because you've got one guy that is... There we go. We've got one guy that is media savvy, and we've got another guy that's raw. So we start at the beginning, and this is what it's going to be like. They might get to the stage where they've got to keep these two apart. Because it's proper, it's real, and people don't understand.
No, because that's the question that always gets asked, isn't it? Is this rivalry really real? When things spill over like that?
I've seen it before. We've both seen it before when fighters talk about how much they dislike each other.
So take their seats for the press conference.
This is real. I know personally, and so that's why this fight is going to be special.
But that also is a factor for both of them, that they're going to have to keep in check, aren't they?
Yeah,
not let emotions spill over. And like we were just talking before we threw to the introductions there about what's at stake here, it's more about who can deal with losing, because that is going to be so brutal, play on your mind, and that's forever.
And this is why it's so sensitive. This is why it's so touchy, because it's not just about getting in a ring with each other eventually, who's better than who. It's bragging rights. Remember, both of these guys have got to walk through their own hometowns. You know, both of these guys have got to have people forever forgetting about all the success that they've had through their career and talking about this fight. And so it could blitz everything they've achieved and everything they've done, this fight.
Well, I'm glad it's Adam sat in the middle there and not us. Let's see what happens. Hand you over to Adam Smith.
A wonderfully warm welcome to you all on this chilly afternoon as we fire up our sport by confirming the British blockbuster, the acrimonious duel that so many sports fans have been waiting for year after year is on. Finally, the green light for two of our finest modern gladiators and former world rulers, the Olympic star, fast, talented and popular Amir Khan on one side, and Kell Brook, the supremely gifted, hard-hitting Winkerbank treasure on the other. There is, ladies and gentlemen, no love lost. There is no certainty as to who will win. There is immense pride and firepower on the line, and quite simply, after all their boxing triumphs over the years, this is the fight and night which both Amir Khan and Kell Brook will be remembered for. February the 19th, in the electric Manchester Arena, live on Sky Sports box office. Stand by for a roller coaster as we find out, all of us fight fans, once and for all, if it's Khan or if it's Brook. Let's get straight to the fighters. Kell, good afternoon.
Afternoon.
When the fight was finally signed, after you've chased it for so long, what were the emotions?
Adam, you know how long this has been going on. Me and him, 17 years this has been talked about. Even the negotiations, it's been unbelievably hard work. You know, it's on, it's been off, it's been on, it's been off, but you know, finally got it across the line. I'm ecstatic that the fans are going to see this fight, what they've wanted to see for years. And I'm just sick of people coming up to me saying, when are you going to fight and when is it happening? Now we've got a date, February 19th in Manchester. And that's when Amir Khan hits the deck for the final time.
Tell us why there is such bitterness, such hatred, really, through the years.
It started from us original promoters back in the day. You know, we've always had it that we're going to be fighting each other, you know. But he's always seemed to veer off. He's never given me no respect. He's never acknowledged me. You know, he's never... You know, he's saying, fight this guy and I'll fight you. If you win a world title, I'll fight you. He's always run away, and I think it's come to, you know, this part of his career, you know, where there's nowhere else for him to run. You know, so now he wants to fight. This is the biggest fight out there for him, the biggest money fight, and there's nowhere else for him to go. So this is when he wants it now. So it's been so frustrating for me. I've been wanting this for many years.
Amir, have you been running? Have you been ducking him? Have you got no respect for Kell Brook?
I mean, the respect's there. You know, I respect him as a fighter. He's got the big names right there, but I'm never been one. In my last 10 fights, if you look at them, in the last 10 years, I fought two of the best pound-for-pound fighters. Maybe got beat, but still, you know, I'm fighting the best out there. Never ran from Kell. Never needed to. Obviously, what I've achieved in the sport speaks for itself. And but look, we're here now. There's no point crying about the past. I mean, at that time, in the past, I didn't think he deserved the fight. But now it's come to a stage where I'm waiting to give him a good shot right in the face. You know what I mean? I want to put him in his place. I mean, that's what it's all about. End of the day, you know, all that talking he's been given, all that big talk he's been saying, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Come Feb 19. You know, it's going to be time to see what he's going to do and how he's going to back them words up.
Why don't you think he's deserved this fight? I mean, you shared a ring many years ago when you were both in young England. You've obviously known his quality. Why not give him a fight till now?
I mean, look, it's like I'm coming levels down taking this fight. I've fought the best around the world. I've conquered America. And for me to give the British fans this fight, I am coming levels down because... You know, people want to see this fight. People want to see me punch him in the face, and that's what they're going to in boxing. But it's my time now to put him in his place and hopefully move on to bigger and better things.
Former world champion, you've done so much for the sport, Kell, but levels and levels below.
Well, you know, he's in cuckoo land. You know, I think he needs to go back to believing he's a celebrity, and he went on.
I mean, being a celebrity is one thing. Listen,
I know, but you're getting knocked clean out. I can't wait. This is my first fight. This fight. Forget all my. Forget my legacy. Forget this fight. My first fight. I am going to knock you spark out.
We'll see what happens.
I'm going to knock you spark out.
We'll see.
You're getting it. You're getting it. You.
It's easy to talk a big game. It's easy to talk a big game. Yeah. And when you keep saying,
speak louder than words, and you believe. Watch what happens to you. I'm going to look over you and say, I told you, Amir. I'm going to look over you and knock spark out and say, I told you. Levels below you.
You finish. I mean, you always have that bitterness in you that, you're living that celebrity life, because what's got me to this celebrity life is my performances, the way I am as a fighter.
It started from the early days, from the amateurs.
That's what got me to this position. You know what I mean? So if I was a bad boxer, if I wasn't good, I wouldn't be in this position.
I said that you're bad,
because of what I've done in the sport. You know what I mean? So it seems to me you're just very bitter on that side.
Not big,
you are
You've got me no respect. You've never acknowledged me saying, who is Kell Brook? I've heard you say, who is there many years ago. You know exactly who I am. Are you going to know? You're going to know because I'm going to retire you.
We know
this fight.
We know what you've done. Listen, you're half retired now anyway.
Yeah,
what are you? Make sure you're fully finished. So don't start giving the bigger ones now. But look, end of the day,
I can't wait to spark you out.
On Feb 19, you ain't going to do shit. I'm telling you, you're not going to do shit. Trust me. You give it the big talk.
You reckon?
You give it the big talk, but like I said, we'll see what happens on the night. But you better get in that gym and start training. You look well overweight as you are now. You need to lose some pounds there. Yeah, you know what I mean?
We're fighting in 12 weeks.
12 weeks.
I'll be ready. Don't you worry.
A little bit less than that, 10. Listen, 10, so get the date right first. Because I don't want you pull something out of the bag and say, you know what, I can't wait, whatnot. But look, 147 was the way it wanted. You still complain. You still complain making
no title on the line. So
regardless of title, we are both 147 fighters.
So if you're that good, why does it need to be a weight? Why does it need to be a weight? Because
we are title on the line. Because
why
we are both welterweight fighters.
Why do we need to meet? Why do we need to come down to these weights? Why?
Because
there's no title on the line. You're just trying to corner it. You're trying to corner it.
You've said numerous times, Amir, I will come down to any weight to fight you. You said that, and I posted it on my Twitter, but you didn't. You complaining about making 147, but me. Obviously, giving the British people the fight that they want. I said, no problem. If you want to go at 149, no problem.
I've bent over back with your demands. You're coming out second. It's you.
But listen.
Just to get you in the ring.
You got the fight. You got the fight, didn't you? You got the fight, didn't you? You got the fight. Listen, I'm coming levels down to fight you. Remember that. I'm coming levels down to fight you.
You reckon?
100% I am.
You reckon?
Yes, I am.
What, from Billy Dib? What do you mean?
Yeah.
What do you mean your levels down?
You know the Billy Dib fight.
How many times have you guys spark out?
Listen, just to Billy Dib fight. I'm telling you, look, you would not said no to that. When you're getting offered 10 million quid for a fight against Billy Dib,
who's going to say no to
10 million quid?
For a confidence booster.
Listen, who's going to say no to? I'm a prize fighter.
So heavyweights have not like Gomez put you down.
I'm a prize fighter.
When out them whiskers, them brownies.
You got knocked out by a jab. You got knocked out by a jab by Crawford. I'll speak to Crawford. You pussy, you don't start giving me the big ones. By a jab.
You look for a way out. Quit in that fight, you.
Man, you got knocked out by a jab, so stop giving me the big one.
I like it. I love that press.
We'll see what you do on February 19th. Listen, there's no point giving the big ones now. You know, everyone can talk. We'll see what you bring to the table. We'll see what you bring on the table on Feb 19.
Kell, how much does this mean to you your whole career, this one fight?
This is icing on cake. This is the grudge match. This is the fight what I want. I've been in with best pound-for-pound fighters. So this is icing on cake. This is what I need. This fight. You know, I'm sick of everyone asking me about this fight. We've got this fight now.
You sure you're not doing it for the payday? You sure you're not doing it for the payday? Me, I got bars, man. I'm alright. Trust me. I mean, I don't need to work.
Are you sure?
Listen, I'm alright. I'm God gifted. Hope you're not coming in for the payday because you're gonna get hurt.
This is an easy fight for me. Easy, you're easy.
Okay, we'll see.
We're gonna see.
After the fight, I'm gonna ask you the same question.
I'm not sure the same question.
Was it easy fight?
I'm not sure the same question.
100%.
You're getting knocked clean out. You ain't know who I am after that. You've been knocked concussed, knocked out.
We'll see.
So, Amir, why do you take the fight? Money's fine.
I took the fight. You know what? Because in Britain, it's the biggest fight out there. Look, take away the AJ and Fury fight. I think that's the biggest fight in Britain. But apart from that, it has to be the rivalry fight between myself and Kell. It's been talked about everywhere. People talk about it. People want to see that fight. And I decided that, look, we should make that fight happen. End of the day, we should put our egos to a side and say, let's put the gloves on and take it that way. Look, I respect him. He's a fighter. You know, end of the day, anyone to jump, whoever goes into that square circle, you have to give him credit. You're putting your life on the line. Kell signed, we signed, and now it's time.
So there is some respect.
Well, it's the first time I've heard it. It's the first time I've heard any respect from him. But believe you me, after this fight, you know, if he can remember my name, he will give me respect when he comes round.
Is it about bragging rights as well?
Of course it's about bragging rights. You know, I'm still the best welterweight in Britain. And I'm going to show everyone who's going to watch this fight, everyone's going to watch this fight, because of the grudge match and because of the history, him running away and never winning the fight.
I was never running away, Kel.
Why did that fight not happen?
I was campaigning in America.
Why didn't it happen till now?
I was fighting the bigger names. I was fighting the bigger fights. My dream was always to fight in America, to become a...
You don't want to lose to another Brit. That's what it is. You'll fight these Mexicans and all these other fighters.
When you're getting bigger fights in America...
No, but this is the fight the fans want. We want. This is what we're on this table for the fans. So I want to give the fight to the fans. Why it took till now for the fans to have it? Listen, I want to give back to the fans for many years.
Regardless, it was then or now. They're getting it, aren't they? That's the main thing. We're doing it for the fans now. You know what I mean? So they're happy. We're going to give them a massive fight. Come Feb 19, we're both going to perform at our best, and we're going to be ready for it. I mean, it's going to be fireworks.
Just make sure you turn up. Don't, because it's
me.
This is a big thing for you.
Which fight have I never turned up at? Which fight have I never turned up at?
No, but you're being this fight.
Shut up.
Listen, I mean, shut up.
Shut up, man.
You make sure you turn up, brother.
Listen, you know, it's better if you stay quiet, because the shit you're coming out with
just
doesn't make sense. So you better stay quiet because...
Amir Kell says he'll knock you out. You going to knock him out?
This fight ain't going to go to the 12 rounds. All right? Kell's going to say, I got this, I got chocolate brownies, you ain't got shit. I mean, we ain't got nothing. We see what happens on the night. Listen, I'm not going to give a prediction, but like I said, only prediction I'm going to say is that it's not going to go 12.
How important is it that it's in Manchester, that it's in Britain, that it's the biggest fight of next year?
So there was huge deals on the table. Dubai was interested in doing this fight, Saudi Arabia, but we wanted this fight to be in the UK, and obviously to have Sky on board for this is amazing. And I think it's very important to have it in the UK, you know, for the British fans, give them the chance to see it live instead of it being a different hours in the days. But yeah, I mean, to have them, give them a chance to come and enjoy the fight and see the fight will be massive, you know. So being in Manchester, the Emirates Arena, where I've had some great experiences, it's going to be right there, and not far from either of us. Obviously, Kell's from Sheffield, which is not far, and I'm from Bolton, so it's literally in between.
Kell, the Battle of the North, Lancashire, Yorkshire rivalry as well. It's got everything, hasn't it?
You know, and I boxed this one. To see who the King of the North is in.
Have you been dreaming of this night? I mean,
we have been. You talk every time we bump each other at this fight. But, you know, it's a fight that I'm so happy that the fans are going to get. I can't wait to start training camp. And like I said, this is my first fight. Forget me winning world titles. This fight to me means everything. I can't wait. You know.
And you're training out with Terence Crawford in America, and you're ready for it.
Yeah, definitely. My training camp's started. We've been training the last couple of months. I go to America tomorrow to start my camp properly. Got a great team there. Matt couldn't make it. Obviously, he had someone in the family passed away, so he couldn't make it. But yeah, camp's going to be good. It's going to be hard, and yeah, I'm going to enjoy it. You know, it's going to be tough, but it's what I like.
You're excited about this one?
I mean, I'm really excited. You know, I definitely have to be excited. You know, I got Kell on the other side screaming like a bitch, but I mean, it is what it is. You know what I mean? I'm going to be ready, man. This for me is a massive fight. I'm not going to say it's like a world title fight, because obviously I fought bigger names and better names, but it's a big fight.
Same here.
It's a big fight where I'm going to just, and you know, the thing is giving the big talk that I'm this, I'm like me. Like, you'll see on Feb 19th how I play and school this guy. Just like the early days when I used to school him. Why is it I got picked for the Olympic team? Because I was schooling Kell Brook with one hand. I used to be going to the training camp and the coach used to tell me, Amir, just use one hand against him now.
Yeah, he's so deluded. That guy is so deluded.
I go, which hand do you want?
You're being it too hard, Amir. You're being it too hard.
You the jab, doing the left hook, the uppercut. And they go, just for the jab. And I used to school him with a jab.
As in Dreamwell.
Wait till I start putting my 1, 2, left hook, right hand, uppercut. Oh, you've had it. Trust me, you are going to get it.
You're being it too hard, brother. You know what happened in that sparring.
But I got picked. So
Yeah,
if you were schooling me, if you were schooling me in sparring, if you
they don't like the Ingle style where they aren't like.
How is politics in amateur boxing?
That's what they're into.
Are you saying ABA, Amateur Boxing Association, is corrupt? Are you trying to say that politics?
I'm saying that
because it can't be. Because all the better
guys like you.
No, it's easy when you look at a sparring session and think, wait a minute, that poor kid, which you're using probably the blue corner, getting battered. And if we can't put him in there, we can't put him inside a championship or send him abroad to get beat. I mean, that's the reason I got picked, because I was schooling you all the time.
You aren't school nobody, mate.
I don't know.
Great, isn't it? A little bit of tension up here. The man who put it together, Boxers CEO Ben Shalom.
I think we've just seen why this fight never happened. The past 5 months have been exhausting. With both teams to try and get this over the line.
I mean, one of the main reasons it didn't happen because he was so jealous about my career. I mean, it was the jealousy more than anything. He hates what I've got.
It's been difficult, and so and so to have it to finally get over the line, this was something we have a massive commitment to the British sport when we got in with Sky, and we made Eubank Williams, and we're bringing Josh Taylor back to the UK. But this was just it's a dream come true. We got two icons of the sport, but most importantly, there's still the two best welterweights in this country by a long way. You know, I think people forget that by a long way, and so. You know, this is a massive fight for us to be involved in. And to be honest, I just want to say thank you to the fighters, because they had offers from everywhere. And I believe I'm sure Terry will get them out later, from everywhere. And they could have taken more money. They could have done it in different countries. But both of them, independently, not agreeing with each other, wanted it in the UK. And to have it at the Manchester Arena, my hometown as well, is a huge thing for the British sport. It's a huge thing for the fans, and I think I'm so excited. This got to be the biggest fight outside, as Amir said, AJ Fury. So yeah, fair play to both fighters for finally getting this on for us.
Let's bring Dan in, representing boxer, but a fight fan to the core as well. Is this about legacy, this fight? Is it about who and what will be remembered come February the 20th?
I think so. Regardless of who both of them have fought, they've always been compared to one another. Always seems to come back to them two. And you can see why it's a genuine dislike for each other. They don't get on. You can see why it hasn't been made over the years. But now we have it. And it has all the familiar symptoms of a classic, in my opinion. It has two huge names, two former world champions, two fighters who are willing to go up and face the most feared fighters in the sport. And most importantly, I think it's always been a fight that's had fans split on who the winner would be. We've never had the answer, and now we're going to get the answer.
Adam, there's a lot of fake rivalry in this sport. It never happened. Was it meant too much? I think world titles. I think everyone's. You know, Kell's gone and fought 2 weights above against Golovkin. Amir's gone and fought Canelo. They've won world titles. They've done everything. But this fight just meant too much to both fighters. So to have it now, this is more than world titles. This is legacy. This is something that Amir will be remembered for, and this is something that Kell will be remembered for. And that's why this is such a massive, massive fight. And yeah, I can't wait.
It's fantastic to have both dads up here on the top table, who I'm sure have lived and breathed through this over the last 15, 20 years. Let's go to Terry first. Terry, I've seen some of the posters in your house, and it's always been that the Amir Khan name has been out there for you to sort of hunt down with your son, with Kell. So when you finally got it together, when all these months and months of negotiations were over, what was the household like then?
I want to say, I know everybody's obviously emphatic, you know, that it's got made, you know, from a very young age. I think it were when Kell, you know, round about the 18 mark, I remember big articles in Boxing News which used to stand on my wall at the shop I used to run at the time. I used to keep a big scrapboard on there, and in them days it were better than Amir Khan. You know, the comparisons were drawn then, because right back from the early amateur days, you know, Amir used to win the ABAs, you know, the weight below Kell, and Kell would win it at the one above, and they were very close on weight all the way through that. and the comparisons were also always drawn from as early as being, 17-year-old, that these two were the best in England. And obviously, we believe that the paths would cross at some time. We didn't visualise that it would take this long. Personally, I do hold Amir responsible for a lot that's happened, in Kell's career, and how things have gone through this fight not getting made, and everybody's on about it. So to eventually have this fight made, that we can, give it to the fans, that everybody's always wanted this, it's here, and we embrace it, and we're just glad that we can, eventually make history, because what'll happen in that ring will be history, and it would have been sad if we'd have left this sport without this fight happening.
Yeah, we need this fight. We've lost so many over the years. Lewis and Bowe never fought. Hatton and Witter never fought. We never had Calzaghe and Froch. So many have sort of gone by the wayside. But we finally get this one together. And it does still feel the right time for this. You hear the boys. You hear your son here. Well,
from Kell's point of view, I've seen people referring to this fight as a bus flush, which is a complete load of crap. If you look at Kell, what is he? He's 35-year-old. I mean, last week we had Crawford fighting Porter, two of the best welterweight, and Kell's still in that mix today. Is literally 1 year older than Crawford, who beat Porter and knocked him out, last week. So I still put Kell in that mix, as in there with the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world. We went out and tried to prove that we were the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world, when really and truly we didn't even sort out who was the best pound-for-pound fighter in UK. And that's what I'm so glad that it's here today, and we've got the chance of actually getting this to prove who's the best in England.
You do say that you have some responsibility, that Amir has maybe even held Kell back at times, you think, because of that. Is that a personal thing that you've got going into this?
Yes, but basically, in a nutshell, because we always got, the rough end of the stick going down the line, coming through the ranks, and we had to go certain ways, go other ways. There were lots of ifs, buts and maybes along the way, and that's where personally, I know that Amir is responsible for a lot that happened in Kell's career.
Ifs, buts and maybes, Shah. We've been talking about this for a very, very, very long time. What's the feeling in the Khan household? What's the feeling in Bolton about this?
As you know, Adam, we have talked a lot about it with Eddie as well. We always wanted this fight. Amir always wanted the fight. But unfortunately, there's always been little hurdles here and there, and unfortunately, they never got ironed out. And that's the reason the fight never happened. The fighters always want to fight. Of course they want to fight, but as long as the terms are right. And unfortunately, every time we were trying to do a deal with Kell's team, and it just didn't happen because there were all certain hurdles there. But now we've got it over the line. That's great, And I agree with Terry. These are the two best guys in UK, and I think they should get it on. And we'll find out who the best guy is. And I reckon public do know who the best guy is out there. And on the night, on the 19th of February, I think Amir is the guy who's going to come out there.
There's been a lot of talk on this side that your son's been ducking Kell over the years. Do you feel that he's just gone his own way and carved his own path, or do you think that there's a little truth in that Kell has been sort of left aside?
Well, not really. I wouldn't say he's been ducking him at all. Yes, look at opponents Amir's fought. You can see it there on his resume, who's fought. He's fought the best guys out there. Okay, Kell goes on about Billy Dibbs. To be honest with you, that was a guy, last minute was brought in for him. Because the other guy fell out, and then that's why they had to bring somebody in. So you can't say, the show had to go on, But Amir has never ducked anybody, and he never will. Amir is there to win. He don't want to be left as a second best. And Kell, on the night, Kell's going to come with the best Kell out there. And Amir will be the best out there. And something, to the British public, everybody will know who is the best guy out there. Like Amir said before, if Kell was so good, why didn't he get to the international camps and etc.? You know what I mean? But that's all make do now. Forget all about that. Let's get the fight on and hopefully find out who the best guy is.
And in Manchester, not far away, everyone on the streets talking about it. Is it Khan? Is it Brook? And once and for all, we decide and we find out.
Great place to fight. Manchester Arena is a great place, great arena, Nearly 20,000 people will be in there. I know he'll sell out. Everybody wants to see the fight. certain people say, oh, yeah, he's too old, these guys are too old. Both guys are the same age. 30-odd-year-old is not an old guy. 35-year-old, they're not old. You know what I mean? There's still fighters out there winning world titles. And these guys are keen, they want to fight, and I think they'll be the best performance out of both guys.
And both have been elite fighters, of course, over the years, fighting everybody. Dominic Ingle, you've been around Kell for seemingly ever. I remember when Kell was, 10 or 11, and we first saw him in the Winkerbank gym, and your dad sort of brought him through. I mean, over the years, has it been the same for you, that Amir's been a name that's just been there, young England and into the professional ranks, that somebody you wanted to get your hands on?
Yeah, I mean, it goes way back to... I can remember Kell coming off a training camp and saying, I've been training with Amir Khan. What's it like? He said, yeah, he's good, fast. He says, but nothing sparkling about him. So it's been going on since that time, both with Frank Warren, about making a fight, in the early 20s. It never materialised. They both went different ways. So, finally we're here. Some people think it's way past its sell-by date, but, whichever way they think about it, it's going to be car crash TV. It's going to be a cracking fight. It's not going to go the distance. I mean, I think the deciding factors are going to be Khan's inactivity. Kell's still got the punch, but Khan still hasn't got the resilience anymore. He's suffered some very, very heavy knockdowns in his career, and it affects.
He got knocked out by a jab. He got knocked out by a jab.
Yeah, he did.
It was a jab, wasn't it? Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Knocked out by a jab. What I will say about Kell against Crawford, he made the wrong decision. I think he didn't have the perfect training camp. He relied on himself for that one, and he misjudged it badly. He should have done a lot better. He should have done a lot better with Crawford, and he didn't. So, that's a lesson learned. That's where we are. Maybe that's why he's got the fight. But what I will say is Kell still got his punch. Khan still hasn't got the resilience. He never has had much of a chin. But he can box. He's got reflexes fast. As long as he can keep out of the way, he's going to be all right. But it's only going to be a matter of time when Kell connects. Because Kell's still got the punch, he's still got the reflex, he's still got the speed, and he's still got the fitness. He's been training since the summer. He's not just starting camp now. He's been in it thinking this fight was going to happen before December. So I know how long he's been in the gym, and I know how he's looking. And you're just starting your camp. You might have done a bit, fair enough. But I think over time, I think Kell's in a lot better shape. I think you're just worse for wear. But it's going to be interesting.
It's going to be very interesting. Do you think actually the styles gelling now will make it more electric, that it can't go the distance, that somebody's going to go?
Yeah, he's not going to go the distance, because I don't think Amir's got it in him to do the distance anymore. I think his hardest fight was Crawford. He put up a great display till he got hit. He did more rounds than Kell, but when he made his comeback fight, whichever way it was, he got Billy Dib, whoever they had before that, I can't remember who it was. It wasn't be a hard fight. So he's been out of the mix for a long time. He's been, living the celebrity lifestyle. Fantastic. He's got a great lifestyle. It's great, for the people in Britain. He is a role model for a lot of people, and that's good. And, with Kell Brook, it's been boiling for a long, long time. And like I say, it's all over the forums. It's all over social media. People are anticipating this fight. That it is going to be a good fight. It's going to sell out Manchester Arena, and it's going to be a great fight. And, hopefully, Khan's going to turn up. He's not going to be on a dinner date on the 14th with his missus. And not making the weight. He's going to turn up on the 19th, and it's going to be a good fight.
Just before I go to Amir, it will be a sellout, and to access pre-sale tickets, be the first in line, please sign up at boxer.com. Just an important announcement there, because it will be banged out in the AO Arena in Manchester on February the 19th. Amir, how do you respond to Dominic's words?
I don't know what to say. I mean, look, he's a trainer. I know he's saying that Kell's in such good shape. Looks like a blob to me. I mean, still look in the best shape. Don't know what type of training he's doing, but I mean, all the very best to him in training camp. We know we're going to be ready. I've been smashing the gym out myself, and yeah. I mean, look, come Feb 19th, it's going to be there's going to be fireworks. It's going to be a massive event. And it's just going to feel so good to shut him up, for once and for all. Because this fight's been talked about for such a long time. At least I can then give him a good beating and then move on to other things. Because every time, Kell probably gets it a lot as well. When you're fighting Khan, people asking me when you're fighting Brook. I think it's going to be nice just to put a stop to it all, after Feb 19th. We all know then who the man is, and obviously it'd be nice to then move on to other things.
You want to move on to other things? You're just focused on Feb 19th, aren't you? Dominic says you're in training, that you're ready. Do you feel good? Do you feel right again?
I feel right, yeah. I've been training for a while. We're obviously going to step it up now, bring the diet into place and be ready. You know, I think actions speak louder than words, and I'll be ready for February 19th. It's going to be carnage.
What wins you the fight, Kel?
Accuracy, you know, power, you know, relentless, just coming forward to take his chin clean off his head. Basically, I'm coming. Forget boxing, forget what I've learned. I'm coming for a pub fight. I'm coming for a car park scrap. That's what's happening.
And what brings you victory, Amir, on February the 19th, once and for all against Kel?
Not a car park scrap. I mean, I think he needs a little bit more than that, trust me. I mean, who says that? Who says a car park scrap?
May I say it?
Come on. I mean, you're a professional fighter.
We're going to stand in the middle of that boxing ring there. We're going to have it out.
Kel, you have just... Anyway, he just does not know how to promote a fight. You know what I'm saying? I mean, look, I'm gonna come there and just do what I do best. Look, I think we both need more than just a car park scrap. We're gonna have to have a good game plan. Go in there, look good, feel good, and like Dominic just mentioned earlier, you know, we saw Crawford at the same age as us, who's 35, went and beat Porter. Look great. So, you know, when people say the age, because me and Kel are similar age, I'm 35 next week and Kel's 35, and I think a lot of people say, oh, these guys are old, but no, I think we're at the peak of our career where we feel at the strongest, the fastest, the quickest, and, you know, I think if training camp goes well for both of us, I think they will have this will be a cracking fight. You know, we're both strong, we've been in with the best, we've got the experience behind us as well. So here's a fight that's you know, it could be, a lot of people think it's a 50-50 fight. I mean, but it's going to be an exciting one.
Well, finally, Kel, look down at Amir, just look down at the table and just tell him what happens February 19th.
He gets knocked spark out.
You ain't going to do shit.
You're going to get knocked spark out, like you always do.
No, all that talking you give, bro, fuck.
Amir, what happens? Look at Kel, what happens?
He's going to get banged out. Honestly, I'm going to school him like I used to do when I used to be inspiring. I mean, that's just put a punch right through his face, man. I'm going to sort him out.
We'll see.
We'll see.
Ben, final word, Ben, on the promotion and how excited you are about the next few weeks.
Yeah, I can't wait for this promotion to get started. Obviously, we have, to be honest, two icons of the British sport that we should be very proud of. I think both of them have conquered the world. Both of them have won world titles. Both of them now come into this fight with all the learnings from the big fights, from all the mistakes that they've made, but they come in at exactly the same position, and that's what makes this so compelling. Both have still a lot in the tank. Both don't want to take fights domestically that are any lower than this, and I think finally we will find out whether it's Brook or Khan. And to be honest, I think they both got to be careful, because this is what, in 10, 15 years, when people talk about Amir Khan or Kell Brook, this is what is going to be mentioned. This will be what lasts in the memory. And so there's more than world titles on the line on this one. This is about legacy, and it runs deep in both families.
Congratulations to Team Khan and Team Brook and the Boxer team for making this fight happen. Sky Sports box office, February the 19th. It is on, the green light. We're going to pose the two for one final head-to-head at the front, and then they will be available for one-on-one interviews. We wish them the best in their training camps, and thank you for bringing us the fight that, as fans, we've all waited for. Thanks, boys.
Well, that was interesting. First of all, before we get stuck into it, Johnny, just need to apologise for any offensive language there. Fair to say emotions have been brewing for quite some time.
That's just the tip of the iceberg, I think. I'm interested to see how we're going to film. The gloves are off, straight from here.
Good luck.
Yeah, so I'm interested to see how that turns out.
I think you only need to ask one question.
But I think as this, Ben's had to get between these two, obviously from their initial head-to-head. I can see things a little sensitive, but I think as the fight gets closer and fighters have got to lose weight, get a little more sensitive, and little lines are dropped socially, that's when fighters are going to get wound up. And again, I've seen so many fake rivalries. This ain't fake.
I was about to say, because before the press conference, the tension in here was palpable.
Amir walked in with a swagger, a cool swagger,
Yeah.
and Kell looked at him, and it was somebody trying to dominate a situation before it even started. And we sensed that. That's why I raised my eyebrows, and Kell sensed that. So he had to step up and to say, no, this is my party. So these two, you've got two egos that are in there that believe they are the best, no matter what he said or done.
Well, Kell said himself, he's going to spark him out, but Amir thinks he's coming down levels.
You've got to say things to each other to try and get into each other's skin. So he's got to disrespect, undermine, get it in his head to think, you know what, you're in with a better fight. You've got to say these things.
Not giving it too long on that one.
You know what, this is. I miss this kind of atmosphere. I miss this kind of vibe and energy. And the one thing that I think will make a difference in this fight is the corner. Now, many times Kell has switched training camps when it comes to a big fight and gone and trained with who else and not stuck to what works for him. It's about game plan. It's about having wisdom and knowledge in the corner. If he gets that right and does the right thing, then we've got to fight.
But that is the complete opposite to what Kell was saying just up there. He was basically saying, what did he call it? A car park scrap.
Because he's basically saying to him, I am going to leave it all in the ring. I'm not, and whatever you try and drop on me, I'm going to make you fight for your life. And so he's got to talk him into that to say, there's no rules here. This is going to be a fight. Get over it.
Well, Andy Scott is in and amongst it over there. Let's hear from him. He is with Amir, I believe.
Amir, that was a feisty press conference. Your immediate reaction to it?
I mean, Kell seems very confident. So am I. He needs to get a little bit. I mean, he's in shape. He looks decent. I mean, better than when I first saw him a couple of months ago. But you know, he's ready. I mean, the fight's on. It's a fight that the British public want to see. They've always wanted to see it, and it's time now. I mean, there was always talk about it. It's going to happen. It never happened. It never materialized. But now the fight is here, guys. We want to give you a massive fight on Feb 19th. It's going to be at the Manchester Arena. We're looking forward to it now. It's time to stay focused. Last couple of months I've been in training, but can't really focus properly because you don't have a fight date. But now the fight date is set. I'm going to be leaving tomorrow for training camp back in Omaha, Nebraska, with Crawford and the team, and then go up to the mountains in Colorado Springs.
You said, I've written it down as you went through it, the root of this rivalry is that you think he's jealous of what you have and what you've done.
100%. What I've done in the sport of boxing, the name I've got, you can see how bitter he is from saying I've got the celebrity status. I mean, the celebrity status comes with what I've achieved in the sport of boxing. It's not because of other things. It's because of my boxing. I put on great performances. I've won world titles, gone to America, made a big name over there. It's all come from boxing. Now, how can you hate on that? And obviously I've capitalised on my sport, what I've done in the sport of boxing. So obviously I think he's a bit he hates that. I mean, look, end of the day, the main thing is we are both fighters, and he can hit me as much as he wants, because once I beat him, once I go in that ring, he's going to hit me even more. Look, it makes the training even harder. I mean, now that I know that he hates me that much, and he wants to hurt me, literally the way he was talking, it's going to only make me go in training camp and train harder, stay focused and get through this training camp. It's not going to be easy, but I'm going to have to push it hard.
One of the comments that seemed to light a fire underneath him at the presser was that he said, this is a step down for me. Strip that back. So fundamentally you believe that you are a better fighter than him?
Definitely. It's a step down for me. This is a step down for me. Me going into this fight, it's like I'm going down levels. Not only one, but a couple of levels. I mean, there's bigger names out there we can fight. There's tougher fighters we can fight out there. But no, it's a step down for me. That's why. And I had to give this to the British fans. I had to give them this fight because otherwise, I mean, this is a fight that the British fans always want to see. They've always wanted, everywhere I go, they always say, I mean, when will he fight Kell Brook? Well, so I have to step down to fight him and give him a beating and show the British people who the best is.
You're on the wind-up, obviously, when you're at the top table there, and you're saying that the coaches, when you spar each other, were telling you to go easy, to box with one hand. Just put that story out there now, because not everyone will be familiar with the fact that you sparred as youngsters. So explain the full story.
So I was training in Sheffield for the Olympic camp. Just before the Olympic camp, I was there for the England camps, and I remember sparring Kell Brook there, and I was told to use only one hand against him because I was literally schooling him. and I take it easy on him. And this was after maybe me doing rounds with 2-3 other guys before. So, yeah, it was a bit. I mean, I didn't think much of Kell Brook then. That's the only thing I remember of him. You know, that we sparred together, and he admits that we sparred, but he was not admitting the part where I'd only hit him with one shot. And I remember asking the coach, what shot shall I hit him with? Shall I hit him with the jab? Shall I hit him with the right hand, or shall I hit him with the left hook or the uppercut? I mean, I go pick a shot, and I'll keep hitting him with that shot.
Now we're here. When that light goes down, it's just the two of you and the referee on the 19th. Are you saying that it will go a similar way, that you can end this fight in whichever method you choose? If you want to win on points, you can do. If you want to end this inside distance, you can do. You don't fear anything that he does?
No. End of the day, look, we do have fears when we go into that ring. It is going to be a tough fight. He's going to train very hard for this fight, and I have to go in there on my A game. I have to be very smart when I go in there, and I have to just give him a good clinical boxing fight, you know. I have to be smart in there, can't make no mistakes, and you know, I wanna show the British fans why I am the best, why I've always believed in myself in this fight, and why I thought it was I'm levels above Kell Brook. It will show on Feb 19th.
And you don't have to answer the questions anymore. That will put the end. That close that chapter of your book.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, everywhere I go, people always ask the question. A lot of boxing fans always say, "What would happen if you fought Kell Brook?" They'll get to see on Feb 19th in Manchester.
Amir, best of luck. Good luck over in the States, and pass our regards on to Team Crawford. Thank you. Go on.
On the story, when he was training for the Olympics, you know, peppering Kell with his jab there. Can't read too much into that. That was a long time ago.
That's the worst thing you can do, Anna, because I sparred with many people that beat me up. If it was true, sparring and fighting are two completely different things. So if you're going on the sparring, that's ridiculous. That's not a man thing. Listen, it might work for vocals for everybody to say, you know what, I beat him in sparring. I'm telling you now, as a fighter, if you are going by a sparring session to judge a fight with somebody, you've got it so wrong. The amount of people I spar with that had the better of me, and I stopped them as a fighter, it means nothing.
It's chalk and cheese. Right, we've heard from Amir. Let's hear from Kell. He's with Andy.
Okay, Kell, let's hear your side of things. What a spiteful, feisty press conference. I mean, straight at it in the head-to-head. This is personal, isn't it? This is a long, bitter rivalry that finally you get to put to bed on the 19th of February.
Yeah, it's personal. You can tell that it's not made up. We honestly just dislike each other. And I'm just so happy that the fans are going to finally get to see this. It's a tick off that I've got the grudge match, of my career. And like I said, this is my first fight. Forget what I've done before. This fight, to me, honestly, it's talked about for 17 years and years. So I'm just so happy now that we've got it across the line, and the fans are going to see it 19th of February in Manchester.
How do you believe the fight will go? Do you believe that, yes, you two are in the final stages of the career, but you still possess the power that you've always had, that you can end this fight inside the distance, that you will beat Amir Khan by knockout?
No, I'm like I said to you, I've not lost nothing. I know I might be 35, but like I said, Crawford's 34 and Porter, they've just had an epic fight. Crawford's one of the pound for pounds best in the world. And I've still got the power, still got the timing. I've still got everything. I've got the experience. You know what I mean? I know that I know how to rest after an hard training session. You've got to look after yourself now at this age. But I'm saying that I will become on the night. I'll be one of my best performances. I'm going to make sure there's no stone unturned. This fight, it's bragging rights. Imagine me or him, or whoever loses, has to walk with that and live with that for the rest of their life.
Yeah, and the question is, can you do that? Presumably you're saying I won't have to contemplate it.
I won't have to contemplate it, because I'm going to put myself through hell in training camp for this, and I believe in me. I'm looking at it in his eyes, and he knows that I'm coming. He knows what this means to me. I've wanted this fight for years. He's never wanted this fight. He's been backed up into a corner where there's nowhere else for him to go. It's the biggest money fight out there for him, and he's more or less forced this, into this fight. I've wanted this fight for years, and we finally got it on now.
Very interesting all the way through that you said every goal or target that he set you, I'll fight Kell if he wins the world title. I'll fight Kell if he goes and boxes his opponent and wins. You feel that you fulfilled all of those and he still didn't want to fight you. Why is that? You said at the press conference you didn't want to lose to a Brit. That's why you ran away.
Yeah, you know, everyone who's watching this will understand that, you know, back in the day, you know, my daughter's 9, and you know, me and Matthew Hatton had his trial together on at the same time, and that was like 10 years ago, you know. And before that, you know, beat Matthew Hatton and then I'll fight. He beat this guy, win a world title. He's never come, you know, to the table, to the fight for the fight fans. You know, it's been doing my head, you know, over the years. I've been asked the question when we're going to fight. So now you know it's going to be February 19th at Manchester Arena. So you don't need to ask for that now. So like I said to you, though, I'm just so excited that, you know, it's going to come down to action. You know, they speak louder than words. So I'm ready to come. I'm coming prepared.
How do you guard against fighting with emotion? Because they're going to press every button they can to try and get under your skin, because that's part of the game now, the mental approach to try and unsettle you so that when the first bell goes, fight that fights with emotion perhaps doesn't do the things that they've worked on in training. How can you guard against that? Or is this fight all built on emotion, that's the emotion that fuels you?
It's all built on emotion. If they're trying to do that, they can do that, because there's so much on the line. It's bragging rights, the best in Britain. You know, it's been going on a long, long time. You know, so of course the atmosphere is going to be unbelievable off the Richter scale. You know, we're going to come and we're going to exchange, and you know, and that's why we love boxing. One punch can end the fight, and we know that, you know, when he likes to get involved, and we've got 12 rounds. It's a matter of time in my eyes before he hits the deck.
What's your final message? I know you gave him one up there. If you could do it without swearing, what's your final message to Amir Khan before he breaks to go to the States for his training camp, and you start your training camp now?
He's got to train like he's never trained before, because I'm coming to bring the heat hard, heavy, you know, and I'm passionate. I want, you know, like I said, this has been talked about for years, and I know what I'm coming to do. You know, that all I can say is that the fans finally are in for an unbelievable treat. Believe you me.
Well, we can't wait. Saturday, 19th of November. We'll see you there.
So, Kell, touching on just how much is at stake in this fight. It's not about belts. It is all about those bragging rights, Johnny.
It is. If people actually were here earlier on, as you said, you could cut the atmosphere with a knife.
So tense. I don't think we've been at a press conference for a long time where it's literally been silence. Yeah. No one talking.
So you know something serious is going on. Both fighters have their drive, their ambition. They drive each other to get up at stupid o'clock in the morning to go for a run when it's freezing or wherever you are in America. Yeah. They are the one they are going to be obsessed about. Forget Christmas, forget New Year, forget Valentine's. They are going to be obsessed about each other until February the 19th. In Manchester, of all places, I think it's going to be such an amazing atmosphere, because Manchester's a good fighting crowd as well.
And we've seen some incredible fight nights at Manchester as well. Where do you think this one's going to rank?
Up there with the top. Up there with the top. I remember going to see Ricky Hatton against Costa Zoo. What a night. What an atmosphere. Then we've seen George Groves and Carl Froch there. What a night. But you've got two guys now that the people, the public, have been clamouring for such a long time. And I will tell you again, I never ever thought this night happened. And I don't want to get too carried away in case somebody gets injured, something happens between now and then.
Positivity,
you know,
Johnny.
I've got to think we've got to do this. So now the pressure's on both fighters. They better hope they don't get injured in between now and then, because the public have now seen him on stage saying, I'm going to be there. So the one that pulls out, regardless how legit the excuse is going to get absolutely hammered by the public.
So what is it going to come down to?
Game plan. Because you've got two talented fighters, and at World Champions they were the best. I remember being in America when Kell was World Champion, and they were talking about them being the best. I remember Virgil Hunter saying, "You know what? I'm never going to let Amir fight Kell Brook." You know, saying that personally. It's about game plan, because they're both very talented. Were both very talented fighters. It's a case of what they got left.
Is it down to game plan, but also? They touched on it there in the interview about keeping the emotions in check as well.
That's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So I actually thought that Amir's he's going to wind up Kell. But Kell is probably used to that because he's always been at the receiving end. I think if Kell gets under Amir's skin...
Do you think that's possible?
I actually do. And right there, I thought, I can see how the plot's going to twist. Because if he gets under his skin, Amir may say something which is completely out of character with that public persona. And Kell's, unfortunately, like or not, he's got to stay ignorant and just say what he's got to say. Don't let what is said to him get under his skin. Because if he does, Amir Khan, as he said, will box his head off.
I don't know if there's any point in asking you this question, really, because you kind of, I guess, got allegiance to Kell. But if your money was on one fighter right now, who you think's going to win? Who would it be?
On. Why would you do that? When this fight was originally mooted years ago, I said Amir Khan would have Kell's number. Then the time went on, and then I thought, I can't pick. Then
It's
the time
been
went
one of
on.
those, isn't it? The momentum has sort of swung, isn't
then
it?
the time went on, I said Kell Brook every day of the week.
Yeah.
Now, I'm telling you, I'm a Kell Brook fan, but I cannot tell you who wins and who loses. I just can't, and that's an honest answer. I'm not that kind of guy. I'll sit on the fence and suffer the consequences, but I can't pick.
I have a feeling it's going to change even more as
Probably.
we get closer to the fight. Well, it has been a rivalry that's been brewing for, 17, 18 years or so, but the score will be settled on February the 19th on Sky Sports Box Office. We cannot wait. Put it in your diary. See you then.